back here in Aruba, where we get a look at the full-time highlights from the 70 minutes that just transpired between Cayman Islands and Cuba. A first-ever clash in the U-15 ranks for these two footballing nations, and a group opener for Cuba, who had their match rescheduled yesterday. And what a start it was for Los Leones del Caribe, creating chance after chance. Mateo Guyana driving forward. He picks out Carlos Rojas, who has this denied in spectacular fashion by William Kirksey. And you wondered if maybe Cayman Islands could hold tough. That question answered emphatically no, because Cuba would strike a few moments later. In the 8th minute, after dominating the opening stages of this match, you see Leotani Reve roam free, a 1-2 with Grotestan, and the low cross finds Rojas, who does not miss this chance. Cuba found themselves in front inside 10 minutes, and you wondered if the floodgates would open from there. They continued to create chance after chance over the course of the opening 35. But then you saw some signs of life from Cayman Islands, who at least were able to manufacture a couple of major moments, including an equalizer in the 25th minute. After winning this back, the cross coming in, it was a lovely cross from Maldonado Ebanks, and it picked out Ray John Booth, who outleapt Claudio Deson and finished to pull Cayman Islands level on 25 minutes. And it created a situation where maybe Cayman Islands could even go in front. Basil Scott upended in the penalty area. The penalty shouts waved away after the coming together with Diego Hernandez. And on the stroke of halftime, Cuba putting themselves right back in front in very loud fashion. What a strike this was. David Estrada picking out the top corner, one of the strikes of the tournament thus far. And at halftime, Cuba found themselves in front. There were signs of promise from Cayman Islands after the restart. This their best chance. A mad scramble in front of goal, and ultimately dealt with by Claudio Deson and the Cuban defense. And from there, the chance quality began to drop off over the course of the final 20 minutes for Cuba. Ray John Booth, before getting subbed off, this his best opportunity, heading it into the turf. And from there, he picks up a yellow card for the coming together, and eventually was subbed off as they look to protect him from their group finale against Guyana. Cuba had some chances. Mateo Guyana, this nearly sensational moment to put it out of reach, cleared off the line by John Mark Thomas. And from their half chances, the story of the day, neither side able to find the decisive blow. Cuba not able to land the final punch. Cayman Islands unable to create any major chances of note, though, in the final 15 minutes. Time for full-time highlights from Aruba between Guyana and Puerto Rico in this Group C clash. It was Guyana's Group C opener after having their match rescheduled yesterday. It was Puerto Rico's second match in as many days after comfortably dispatching of the Cayman Islands yesterday night. And they picked up right where they left off in terms of chance creation. It wound up being a dominant 70 minutes by El Huracan Azul, but it took them a while to get going. Going forward, Wilfredo Reyes, he was the star of the show with 2 goals and 2 assists, and he provided the opening goal for Troy Montañez in the 13th minute. And from there, the wheels came off for Guyana. Could not create anything after the opener. And honestly, you could have argued Puerto Rico should have had 3 or 4 in the first half alone. A number of chances that just didn't break their way in a spectacular performance in net for Niall Kendall to keep Guyana within a shred of the match. And at halftime, Puerto Rico found themselves leading by just 1 goal. It was a frustrating end to the half because they win a penalty, and when they step up to the spot, it's saved by Niall Kendall. A rare miss by Miles Johnson. You maybe thought if Guyana can just grow into this, it might be a bit of a game, but Puerto Rico never let them grow into it. Just a onslaught of attacking opportunities for Kendall to handle. And while he did so well and admirably in the first half, after the restart, it all came undone. Chance after chance for Puerto Rico began to mount, and finally, chance after chance began to find the back of the net. This is the second half, chances beginning to pile up, and then finally, the elusive second. Wilfredo Reyes laying it off into the path of Marco Russo, and that is the moment where the wheels came off for Guyana. A second came, and then a third came 6 minutes later. Wilfredo Reyes, after supplying the first 2, scored the third, a very well-worked goal where he was able to bypass the last defender and tuck it into the bottom left. And then later on, he would add a fourth before being subbed off just negotiating his way wide, has the beating of his defender and rolls it into the bottom left. It was 4-0 by that point. He was subbed off for his efforts. The only thing he couldn't secure was a hat trick. And then Puerto Rico continued to push on in his absence. Some late frustration challenges from Guyana as they realized that the result was assured for Puerto Rico. And then the fifth eventually came. Marco Russo grabbing his second of the day, just roaming free, rolling it into the bottom right. No chance for Kendall to close down the ankle. And yes, he was on target. He was excellent